Thank you, Dr. Lee. This has been a great talk so far. My question deals with how do you see your role as a technologist, as a researcher, as a humanist shifting when you find your research being used for more military applications in an AI arms race that we're in the midst of now?
And can I jump in? This is something that you dealt with indirectly at Google with Project Maven, and you, I'm sure, woke up one morning and saw your emails quoted in the New York Times. You don't delve into this in a lot of detail in the book because you explained that it's not something that you were directly involved in, but that is the context for this question about how do you feel about your technology that you've developed or that you're involved in being used for these other purposes, such as military?
This is why it's so important that you don't allow people to speak for you, because that's not the question that I was asking. And you'll hear Dr. Lee clarify that in a minute.
I wasn't even thinking in terms of the Google context. However, I know that much of the innovations that we as consumers and civilians enjoy is a result of declassified military projects. So now that we see that AI is on the front burner, if you will, of military thinking, how do you see your role as a researcher, as a technologist, and as a humanist shifting in that environment?
Great question. Look, I'm going to connect both because you're asking a more present question, and Todd is referring to a little bit of a history a few years ago, but they're all connected. First of all, the incident that Todd was referring to was in 2018-ish. 2017, 2018 was the first time the technology world as a whole, big tech, I guess, woke up to a messiness they didn't expect. This is immediately after Cambridge Analytica. This is after self-driving car death. This is after facial recognition algorithm doing horrible mistakes. And then we start to get into, wow, AI does play a role in defense and weaponization. And as a technologist who belongs to the generation and the group of people who brought this technology to the world, it was quite a humbling experience. It also really made me realize, in the book I double click on this word messiness, is that math is not messy in the sense 1 + 1 = 2. But technology's human impact, societal impact is messy. And this is when I start to recognize that my generation of computer scientists was never trained with proper ethics education or social science. I don't think we had any mandatory course in ethics when I was in undergrad or grad school. This is why I returned to Stanford to create this Institute for Human-Centered AI, because I feel like we've got so much to do. We've got better education. We started pushing for embedded ethics into our computer science class. We've got to do better dialogue. We start to engage with the policy world. We need to broaden the understanding of AI from the narrow tech to multidisciplinary AI, to really push for human benevolent technology like medicine, sustainability, education. And to this day, I think this very topic of AI becoming part of the human arms race is very complex. I am heartened that I know we all see problems in our world right now. I mean, you cannot get by from reading news for 5 minutes to feel almost depressed sometimes. But I am heartened. We live in a country that's founded by values. We live in a society that is a strong democracy where we still have voices. And I think we need to really care about that and play a role even in the defense views of AI, there are human values involved. And I think that's important. So these are the these are my ongoing learning, but I think it's so important as technologists to just keep that humility and understand this is messy, this is nuanced, engage in multi-stakeholder conversations, and have respectful dialogues with so many, players.
Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
Great, yeah. And thanks for letting me piggyback on that question too, by the way. Yeah.
So,